What if I told you one of the most iconic football clubs in the world is currently in a financial no man's land? Not because of bad management, but because they are holding out for a price so absurd it's almost comical. Let me break this down for you. Chelsea FC, the team that's won nearly everything in English football, is starting its fourth straight Premier League season without a permanent shirt sponsor. That's not just a PR nightmare, it's a financial time bomb. And the reason? They are demanding £60 to £65 million a year for a sponsorship deal. Wait, really? Let me think about that for a second. That's more than double what most top clubs get. Manchester United's deal with Snapdragon is around £35 million, and they're a global powerhouse. So what gives? Why would Chelsea, a club with a massive global fan base, be asking for a price that makes potential partners run for the hills? Personally, I think this says a lot about the club's current brand positioning. They are not just selling a shirt, they are selling a legacy. But here's the catch, legacy doesn't pay the bills. When you're in a transitional phase, with inconsistent results and a rebuild on the pitch, sponsors want to see stability. They want to know their money is going to a team that's winning trophies, not just collecting dust in the Champions League group stage. What makes this really interesting is how this plays into the broader trend of football clubs becoming more corporate than ever. It's not just about the money anymore, it's about aligning with the right image. And right now, Chelsea's image is complicated. Let's talk about the financial implications. Under Premier League profit and sustainability rules, shirt sponsors aren't just a nice-to-have, they are a lifeline. Clubs with main sponsors get a chunk of revenue that's tied directly to their financial health. Without it, Chelsea is losing tens of millions annually. That's not just a number, it's a strategic disadvantage. Imagine trying to compete with Manchester City or Liverpool when you're shortchanging yourself on revenue. It's like showing up to a fight with one hand tied behind your back. And yet, the club's commercial team is doubling down on this high asking price. Why? Are they overestimating their brand value, or are they terrified of being seen as desperate? Here's what I find fascinating, the fans seem to love the sponsor-free kits. The clean, retro designs are visually striking, and there's a certain nostalgia in seeing the club's crest without corporate clutter. But this isn't just about aesthetics. It's a statement. A rebellion against the commercialization of football. Yet, at the same time, the club is missing out on revenue that could fund transfers, youth development, or even just covering operational costs. There's a paradox here, embracing a purist aesthetic while financially crippling yourself. What does that say about the priorities of Blue Co ownership? Are they chasing short-term brand appeal at the expense of long-term sustainability? If you take a step back and think about this, it's a microcosm of the modern football dilemma. How do you balance commercial interests with on-field performance? How do you maintain a global brand without alienating potential partners? And most importantly, is Chelsea's current strategy sustainable? Because right now, they're in a precarious position. They are not just fighting for a sponsor, they are fighting for their identity. And if they don't get this right, the consequences could be far more damaging than a few empty pockets. So, what do you think? Is Chelsea's approach bold or reckless? And more importantly, can they afford to keep waiting for the perfect deal,